Frank Maloney and Darren Sutherland were in Dublin to appear on Steve Bunce's Boxing Hour on Setanta, but they had time to meet the press to announce Darren's opponent for March 6th, where he'll take on Belarusian slugger Sergey Navaka on the undercard of Irish champion Jamie Moore's bid for the vacant light middleweight title in Wigan's Robin Park Arena.
While we were in town to do this sports show with Setanta, we thought it would be a good opportunity to get together and let you know how Darren's training's going. I personally am very impressed with what I've been watching and seeing, and so is Brian Lawrence. If anything, Lawrence and I have had a couple of meetings and discussed ways of how to hold him back, because he is progressing so good in the gym that I think he'll be fighting for a title sooner than anyone expected. And we looked at the title range, and he can fight for the Southern Area title, which is like a 10-round title fight, which we would probably look at. He's already sparred with the champion, and we formed our impression. And I know it's a bold statement, but if I was offered the Irish title tomorrow with Brian McGee, I would make that fight. I feel that Darren would be ready for the fight. The only thing that Brian and I do concern is that he hasn't got the rounds in. And if you look at the opponent that we've chosen for March the 6th, it's obviously a durable opponent. He's gone the distance more times than he's been stopped, and that's what we're looking for. And hopefully we'll get some rounds in this time. But if he does the job quick, then no one's going to complain.
Have you seen anything that has maybe tested your faith, your belief? I'm just looking at the fact that you found a lad who last won, 4 years ago?
Yeah, listen, I'm looking for opponents to give him with durability, to give him some experience. As I said, I'd be happy to put him in with anyone, but I would be a bad manager to do that because he hasn't had the experience. He's had one round, just over a minute of professional boxing. He's had plenty of sparring, but sparring is not the same as actually competition. So we're looking for opponents. My agents know what I'm looking for. They know that I need someone that's going to give him durability. And obviously now what's going to happen is I'm going to be watching the opponents that Frank Warren uses for James DeGale. Warren's going to be watching the opponents I'm using for him. We've now got Tony Jeffries in our stable, so who's going to be fighting that super middle light heavy. So we're going to be watching opponents there. So we're going to be judging them. If let's say he goes the distance with this guy on March the 6th, you can bet that Frank Warren's matchmaker will pick up the telephone to get him into James DeGale, so DeGale can get a stoppage, and it'll work the same for me. It's for the next 5 or 6 fights. It's just a little bit of manoeuvring, and then I promise you we will take the reins off him and blinkers and let him bash a few people up.
You wouldn't have any chance to go to America, though, would you?
Yes, but not to box. Not to box at the moment. I'm in talks with a couple of them, my American agent Don Majeski. We are going to go over to America and probably do a working holiday. Darren thinks he's going to go over and relax, but he's not. He's going to go over.
I want to go over there
on
and
a working holiday.
I want to spar some good Americans.
So I think we'll see in the summer period, like we'll do a 2-week stint around the East Coast gymnasiums, just so we can get a feel of them.
I'm learning all the time, I'm kind of in a bit of, I'm an admiration of Brian. I think he's a very good trainer, and I didn't realize, how good he was, and the chemistry we have, we just hit it off like he's been training me for years, I've been studying tapes of Mike McCallum and Bernard Hopkins. And he wants me to be looking at the ways of, how someone like a Hopkins has very good ring craft, very experienced campaigner. And then, he likes the way a McCallum uses his jab, to control opponents and, the stinging body shots, because I'm a good body puncher myself. So, he wants to show how they kind of, transition from head to body very smoothly, So I've been watching a lot of DVDs of him. I didn't realize how good McCallum was. It would have been someone that would have been kind of before my time a little bit. And now I'm a big fan of him, and I'm trying to, practice some of the little tricks that he does in the gym. Brian trains myself and Ian Napa, who's the European champion. I was used to being one of the fittest on the Irish national squad. And I look at Napper and he's banging out 15 rounds on the bag. I think the other day he done 18 rounds, you know, and he's still jumping around full of energy. And I'm like doing 10, 12 rounds, and I'm like, you know, after 8, I'm breathing out my arse, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? I thought I was fit. It is a different type of fitness, you know, because it's sport specific. I'm so used to being, you know, short, sharp, you know, amateurs, 4.2s, and I was 3.3s. But the pros is different, and it just takes time. So that's one of the elements I got to be working on as well, is the conditioning. Just keep, you know, doing the long runs that are, you know, listening to what Brian says, and then eventually then I will be ready to step up and box for a title. Because it's no good saying, oh yeah, I might box for a title, because if it goes 10 rounds, I got to be ready to do that, you know. And that's where, you know, that seasoned hard proness will take time to come, you know. So by the end of this year, I hope that I will be ready then for that.
That's the Q&A over, but make sure you watch part 2, where I'll be talking boxing stars one-on-one with Darren.